What is happening, everybody? Jay Shockblast here. And today I want to talk a little bit about Iron Man 3. That's right, it's in the theaters right now. It's currently making gaggles of money and money in spite of itself. That's what I'm going with. And, I watched it. And, I'm not necessarily a big Iron Man fan. I think I like him more because of Robert Downey Jr., and I think that has prompted me to, discover, a lot of the backstory of Iron Man more than I would have if they hadn't made all these movies over the years. And that obviously says everything you need to know about what I think of Robert Downey's portrayal of Tony Stark and Iron Man. I think he's fantastic, and I think I've enjoyed all three Iron Man movies, quite a bit. And, of course, the Avengers and anything else that really Marvel's done, I've enjoyed. But they just can't really help themselves but, do just enough to really piss off the fan base that got them where they are. And Iron Man 3 is definitely not without that moment. So a little bit of a warning. There will obviously be some spoilers coming up. I put it in the title. I put it in the description down below. So I don't want to hear any complaints. I'm talking about the movie. I'm talking about specific parts of the movie. If you haven't seen the movie yet, please save this for later and come back. We can talk about it. I want to have some discussion with anybody else that has seen the movie. I'm doing this with zero notes. This is all just me talking. And so here's your warning from here on out. Spoilers will be abound. And there we go. I think this movie should have been called Tony Stark 007. That's what I'm going with because it's really not what I wanted from an Iron Man movie. So I want to kind of expand on that. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I thought they did a really good job with it, and I really shouldn't be complaining about it, but I don't think it was the movie I signed up for. I don't think it's the movie that they advertised. And a lot of it, and every bit of it, has everything to do with the Mandarin, who is and always has been one of Iron Man's biggest foes. And I think myself, like most other people, when we saw that the Mandarin was going to be the main character of the movie, we got pretty fired up about it. They've teased the 10 rings. If you go back and look at all the other movies, they've teased it before. And then when they go out and they cast Sir Ben Kingsley to be the Mandarin, and you see these trailers, you see him in action, and you can't help but get excited because it looks like they really did a good job with it. And I can't believe that they did him that way, I guess. I mean, the Mandarin, they essentially emasculated his character, chopped off his balls, and just left him a heap with nothing. I mean, just brutal, just to walk in, and it's cute, and maybe it fits the story of what they wanted to do, but, I don't see the point. Why couldn't we have had just an action-packed movie with Mandarin being Mandarin and just fighting with Iron Man? Is that really so hard? I mean, why does it have to be this Hollywood, story? And they mix in extremists, and it's a loose-fitting story of extremists. I mean, they didn't really butcher it as badly as they did with Mandarin, but I can live with the extremist stuff, even though, Pepper Potts having the extremists put into her, I mean, that was a bit much, and the second they show her glowing red, you know how the movie's going to end. She's already worn the suit earlier in the movie. She's already saved Tony once. You know that she's going to use her powers and she's going to do something. So I don't know. I wasn't really stoked about the way they did that, but I mean, Extremists in general, it's a pretty cool story, and it worked. It worked for what they did, but the title of the movie is Iron Man 3. And I know that in the other movies they did have to do a little bit of establishing Tony as a character, but when you think about the Avengers, pretty much every time you see Iron Man, he's Iron Man. He's wearing his suit. Iron Man is about the suit, and you've had the other two movies to really establish Tony Stark, and I understand he's supposed to be struggling with what happened at the end of the Avengers, and that's cool. Like I said, it actually wasn't a bad story. It's not even a bad movie. I just don't like what they did with the story. The movie was fun. There was a lot of action, but I don't want to see Tony Stark running around with a gun, jumping over fences, and I want to see Iron Man. And I want to see Iron Man fight Mandarin. I don't want to see Iron Man pop up on a junkie actor who doesn't even know that what he's saying is real. I mean, that's who the Mandarin is supposed to be? I mean, come on. And the end of the movie, it's cool. He's got all of his armor coming out and attacking everything. And, then he just blows it all up, and that's it. And it looks like he has the arc reactor taken out. So, I understand that's a failsafe for if Robert Downey just packs it in and says, I don't want to do Iron Man anymore. But why wouldn't he? I mean, this movie made like $200 million just overseas in its first week, and it just finally opened in America. You don't think they're going to double their money? You don't think that they're going to be pushing $1 billion like the Avengers? I mean, of course it is. It's Iron Man, and everybody loves seeing Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Why wouldn't he? I mean, money talks. Why wouldn't he come back and do it? Just give him his money, keep making your movies, keep making buckets of money, and just stop. You're going to let one guy hold up the next part of the Avengers story? I'm sorry. Tony Stark, Iron Man, big part of the Avengers. You kind of have to have him at this point. You've invested 3 movies into Iron Man and 1 in the Avengers. So I just really, really short-sighted as far as the writing goes. I there's so many other stories they could have told, and I don't really know what they're doing, and I'm sure Joss Whedon is certainly not going to be sending a Christmas card to the writer, or maybe he will, I don't know. But at the same time, it's like, you didn't really leave him much to work with. I do have to say, Iron Patriot, really? Iron Patriot is Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. And I think there was even another Iron Patriot before that. I get what they did with it. It's cute. War Machine, Iron Patriot tested better, blah, blah, blah. But I know that they're not going to use the Dark Reign storyline as far as the movies are concerned, so we don't really have to worry about anything when it comes to Norman Osborn being Iron Patriot. But I don't know. It just seems like that's something they did for Hasbro to sell more toys, because we don't have enough Iron Man friggin' toys. And by the way, if you've seen any of the toys that Hasbro made for this movie, absolutely atrocious, hideous, overpriced junk. So, um, I mean, I know I'm spending a lot of time, as I tend to do, focusing on the things I don't like. There's a lot to like, but I'm just so frustrated with what they did to the Mandarin character. And they had to, I know they saw this coming. They had to have seen this coming. Literally every comic book guy that has followed Iron Man with any for any length of time is going to look at this and feel like they were slapped in the face. And yeah, you're gonna have all the kids that don't care, they don't know the difference, and you're gonna have all the you know just general people that go see movies that aren't gonna care and don't know the difference. But I understand there's this urge to just go get every dollar, and I know that when Hollywood gets their hands on these forms of entertainment that have already been done, they feel this insatiable need to put their own stamp on it, put their own, you know, spin on it. But Marvel owns, like, this is a Marvel Studios movie. Like, these writers, these people that they have, they're their people. And, Marvel is this huge entity. And you're telling me you can't control what these writers are doing? Like, just hand them some comic books and say, hey, we already told all these stories. Like, this is who these characters are. You know, at least follow the pattern. If you want to do, take some liberties with their character and spin it a little bit, then fine. But, to take the Mandarin and literally just emasculate him and absolutely demolish his character is just, it's unreal. It you couldn't even, if you told me this, if I allowed you to tell me this was going to happen before I walked into that movie, I would have walked right back out. Because as great as the movie is, as entertaining as it is, it's just, it's frustrating more than anything that they would do this to such a great character. And I know they haven't really used Mandarin in quite a while. I mean, they've been busy with, Civil War went right into Secret Invasion, and Secret Invasion went right into Dark Reign, and, then we have the Avengers versus X-Men. I mean, they've kept everybody pretty busy for 6-7 years now. So I know they're not really using Mandarin that much, but I mean that doesn't really give you a reason to take him. And I I feel like it's almost like a bait and switch. If they're gonna create this character and change him to be something he's not, they could have made up a new character, but no, they chose the Mandarin because all the comic book guys are going to be like, yeah, it's the Mandarin. Yes, I can't wait. I'm going to go see this movie. And then they show these epic, trailers with, Ben Kingsley, just this awesome actor, just really giving this awesome portrayal of this just dark and grimy and gritty terrorist, and that's the movie everybody was signing up for, and then they just turn it into a joke, and it's really unforgivable. But we're gonna forgive them anyway because Thor is gonna be out soon, and we're gonna go watch it, and then it'll be Captain America, and then it'll be Guardians of the Galaxy and the Wolverine and Avengers 2, and they're all going to be great, and they'll probably take liberties with certain stuff too, and it's just going to be a never-ending cycle. But I got to go on record. It's hard to take at this point. What can you do, though? I mean, you just keep handing them money. So I don't discourage people from going to see Iron Man 3. as long as you go in understanding that it's Hollywood's take on the Iron Man character, and just focus on the fact that you are going to get fantastic acting from Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark and Iron Man. He does an incredible job, as he always does. You're going to get a good performance from Gwyneth Paltrow. Don Cheadle, I mean, I like him as an actor, but I can't help but laugh at the faces he makes when they show him inside the suit, because it seems so like overacted. Um, you know, Guy Pearce was pretty much the big bad guy of the movie, and I thought he did a pretty solid job. Not really super familiar with him, and I probably should be. I'm not really huge on movies, but I thought he was. Let me take that back. I watch movies, but I don't watch every movie. I do enjoy very thoroughly watching all these Marvel and DC movies more than anything. But I'm looking at his IMDb now, and I can see that he has been in some pretty decent and big movies. So maybe it should have been more on my radar, but he is now. And like I said, I thought he did a really good job. So he was believable, and it's a dark movie. I like that. It seems like it kind of shows Tony Stark finding himself, which I can get behind. As much as I'm frustrated about the Mandarin situation, it was a good movie. I mean, it was interesting. It was fun. I mean, the action stuff was good. The fight at the end was good. It was just, I don't understand why you have to just screw around with what everybody knows. It's like, oh well, what can you do? If you haven't seen it yet and you listen to all this, it is still worth seeing. I did obviously, that I did warn the spoilers that that was the big spot where where he comes comes out of the bathroom, and oh yep, he's an actor. And when it was happening in my head, I'm like, okay, so he's totally just fucking with him, right? He's gonna say, oh yeah, I'm the Mandarin. I gotcha, and like do some magic shit or something. Nope, he's really an actor. Just a drugged up, drunk English actor. No idea what he's doing. No idea any of this is real. Whatever. So, I would say it's probably like a 7.5 out of 10. It's a good movie. If they hadn't done what they did with Mandarin, I possibly could have seen it being as high as a 9. If they took everything that they had with Mandarin and then just had him have like a big fight at the end, had him really be Mandarin, left out all that 007 stuff, there was potential there for maybe even a 10. I mean, this had, like, I could have lived with them getting to the point where they got to that compound where they found Mandarin, and not finding him and blah blah blah, whatever. They could have spun the story another way. I could have lived with all that, but there's at that point it was still really, I was edge of my seat. I was excited. I was okay, whatever. It's Tony Stark 007, no big deal. They're getting to the good part, and there we go. That's it. So, really, really wanted to see more of Iron Man, less of Tony Stark, but it is what it is. I can't win them all. Again, I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and seal it up by saying I hope everybody enjoyed. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. And let me know what you thought of the movie. I have a feeling I'm not alone on this. Pretty much everybody that I've talked to, my brother Eric, Chrome, Keem, guys at work, I mean, everybody that I know that has seen this movie has had the same response when it comes to Mandarin. So I know I'm not alone on this one. And whatever. So that's it. Iron Man 3 is in theaters now. And if you haven't seen it, I still think you should. And I think if you if you're listening, Marvel, I mean, please just stop. Stop doing this to your characters. I mean, I'm only doing it because I love your characters. I'm only saying this because, I don't want to see you just totally destroy the credibility of your characters. I know that we all have accepted that we can separate, Hollywood from the pages of the book, but at some point you're going to have to realize that it's really upsetting the people that have put you in a position to make movies about your characters. I mean, but hey, what do I know, I guess. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll try